Welcome to our channel, Deep Dive into History, where we explore the fascinating world of history, culture, and mythology. In this video, we'll take you on a journey back in time to ancient Egypt and uncover 5 captivating stories that have withstood the test of time. From tales of gods and goddesses to stories of love, betrayal, and revenge, these ancient myths and legends offer a glimpse into the beliefs, values, and traditions of one of the world's oldest civilizations, the story of Osiris. The mythological story of Osiris is one of the most well-known and significant tales in ancient Egyptian mythology. Osiris was believed to be the god of fertility, agriculture, and the afterlife. His brother Seth, who was jealous of Osiris' popularity and power, plotted to kill him. Seth tricked Osiris into entering a coffin and then sealed it shut, throwing it into the Nile River. The coffin eventually washed up on the shore of Byblos, where it was found by the local king's wife. The king's wife was struck by the beauty of the coffin and ordered it to be brought to her palace. When she opened the coffin, she found Osiris' body inside and was overcome with grief. She kept the body in her palace and mourned for many days. Meanwhile, Seth learned that the coffin had been found and retrieved Osiris' body. He then dismembered Osiris' body into 14 pieces and scattered them throughout Egypt. Isis, Osiris' wife and sister, was determined to find all the pieces of her husband's body and bring him back to life. She searched throughout Egypt and eventually found all of the pieces except for one, Osiris' phallus, which had been eaten by a fish in the Nile. Isis used her magical powers to reassemble Osiris' body, and then she breathed new life into him. Osiris was not able to return to the land of the living, but instead became the ruler of the underworld, where he judged the souls of the dead. He was considered a symbol of resurrection and eternal life, and his story played a central role in Egyptian funerary beliefs and rituals. The story of Osiris was important not only for its religious significance but also for its influence on Egyptian culture and society. The construction of tombs and funerary rituals were based on the idea that the soul of the deceased could be resurrected and judged by Osiris in the afterlife. The myth also helped to reinforce the power of the pharaoh, who was seen as the embodiment of Horus, the son of Osiris and Isis. Overall, the story of Osiris was a fundamental part of Egyptian mythology and religion, shaping their beliefs and practices for centuries. The story of Ra and the sun. The story of Ra and the sun was a central part of ancient Egyptian mythology and religion. Ra was the most powerful god in the pantheon, and he was often associated with the sun and its life-giving properties. The story of Ra and the sun describes how Ra would sail across the sky each day on a boat called the Bark of Ra, bringing light and warmth to the world. According to the myth, Ra would start his journey in the east each morning and travel across the sky until he reached the western horizon in the evening. During his journey, Ra would encounter various obstacles and enemies, including the serpent Apophis, who sought to devour Ra and bring darkness to the world. At the end of each day, Ra would be swallowed by the goddess Nut, who represented the night sky. This would cause darkness to fall across the world until Ra emerged from Nut's mouth the following morning, beginning his journey across the sky once again. The story of Ra and the sun was not just a mythological tale, but was also an important part of Egyptian religious beliefs and rituals. The rising and setting of the sun was seen as a symbol of death and rebirth, and it played a key role in funerary practices and beliefs. In addition, the story of Ra and the sun was used to reinforce the power of the pharaoh. The pharaoh was believed to be a manifestation of Ra on earth, and the success of the pharaoh in life was seen as dependent on his ability to help Ra overcome his enemies and bring light and warmth to the world. Overall, the story of Ra and the sun was a crucial aspect of ancient Egyptian mythology and religion, providing a powerful symbol of life, death, and rebirth, and reinforcing the central role of the pharaoh in Egyptian society. The story of the Sphinx. The Sphinx is one of the most iconic and enigmatic symbols of ancient Egypt, and its story has been passed down through the centuries as a cautionary tale about the dangers of arrogance and pride. According to the myth, the Sphinx was a monstrous creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human, which terrorized the city of Thebes. The Sphinx would sit atop a high rock overlooking the city and ask a riddle of anyone who dared to pass by. The riddle was, "What has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening?" And if the person could not answer correctly, the Sphinx would devour them. Many people attempted to answer the Sphinx's riddle and failed, until the hero Oedipus arrived in Thebes. Oedipus correctly answered the riddle by stating that the answer was a human, who crawls on all 4s as a baby, walks on 2 legs as an adult, and uses a walking stick in old age. The Sphinx was defeated and threw herself off the rock, dying on impact. The story of the Sphinx has been interpreted in many ways over the centuries. Some see it as a warning against arrogance and pride, as the Sphinx's downfall was caused by her belief that she was invincible. Others view it as a symbol of the dangers of riddles and wordplay, which can be used to deceive and manipulate. Regardless of its interpretation, the story of the Sphinx has endured as a testament to the power of myth and storytelling in ancient Egypt. It continues to fascinate people around the world and remains a popular subject of art and literature to this day. The story of the flood. The story of the flood is an ancient Egyptian myth that has similarities to other flood myths found in different cultures around the world. According to the myth, the god Ra became angry with humanity for their disobedience and decided to punish them by sending a massive flood to destroy all life on earth. However, the god Thoth took pity on humanity and warned a man named Nefertiti about the coming flood. Nefertiti was instructed to build a boat to save himself, his family, and pairs of all animals, in order to repopulate the earth after the flood waters receded. Nefertiti followed Thoth's instructions and built a large boat, which he loaded with his family, the animals, and all the food and supplies they would need to survive the flood. When the flood waters rose and covered the land, Nefertiti and his companions floated on the boat until the flood subsided and they could safely disembark. After the flood, Nefertiti and his family repopulated the earth with the animals they had saved, and the world was renewed. The story of the flood was seen as a warning to people to obey the gods and live according to their laws, or else suffer the consequences of their actions. The story of the flood also had practical implications for ancient Egyptians, as flooding was a common occurrence along the Nile River. The annual flooding of the Nile was seen as a sign of the gods' favor and was crucial to the success of Egyptian agriculture. However, too much flooding could be disastrous, leading to destruction of crops and villages. The story of the flood provided a way for ancient Egyptians to understand and cope with the destructive power of water, and reinforced the importance of living in harmony with the natural world. It also demonstrated the power of the gods to control the forces of nature, and the need for humanity to respect their power and authority. The story of Horus and Seth. The story of Horus and Seth. This is an ancient Egyptian myth that tells the story of the rivalry between the gods Horus and Seth. Horus was the son of Osiris and Isis and was seen as the protector of the pharaohs, while Seth was the god of chaos and violence. The myth tells of a battle between Horus and Seth, in which Seth gouged out one of Horus's eyes. Horus then retaliated by castrating Seth, and a fierce battle ensued between the two gods. Eventually, Horus was victorious and became the new ruler of Egypt, while Seth was banished to the desert. The story of Horus and Seth was seen as a representation of the ongoing struggle between order and chaos in the world. Horus was seen as a symbol of justice and order, while Seth represented chaos and violence. The conflict between the two gods was seen as a reflection of the struggles of humanity to maintain order in the face of chaos and violence. The myth also had political implications, as it was used to reinforce the legitimacy of the pharaohs as the protectors of order and justice in Egypt. The pharaohs were often depicted as the living embodiment of Horus, and their rule was seen as essential to maintaining order in the kingdom. The story of Horus and Seth remains an enduring part of ancient Egyptian mythology, and has been depicted in numerous works of art and literature throughout the ages. It is a powerful reminder of the ongoing struggle between order and chaos, and the need for humanity to maintain balance and harmony in the world. The myth of Horus and Seth also highlights the importance of family and loyalty in ancient Egyptian culture. Horus was determined to avenge his father, Osiris, who had been murdered by Seth, and this drove him to seek revenge against Seth. Similarly, Isis, Horus's mother, was unwavering in her support for her son, and played a key role in his eventual victory. The story also illustrates the belief in divine intervention in human affairs. Thoth, the god of wisdom, was instrumental in helping Horus to defeat Seth by providing him with powerful magic spells. This highlights the importance of wisdom and knowledge in Egyptian society, and the belief that the gods could intervene in the lives of humans to protect and guide them. Overall, the story of Horus and Seth is a powerful myth that reflects many of the core values and beliefs of ancient Egyptian society. It highlights the importance of family, loyalty, wisdom, and divine intervention, and reinforces the idea that the pharaohs were essential to maintaining order and justice in the kingdom. Despite being an ancient myth, its themes and lessons remain relevant today, and continue to inspire and captivate people around the world. In conclusion, the stories of ancient Egypt are some of the oldest and most enduring myths in human history. From From the epic battles of Horus and Seth to the journey of the sun god Ra, these myths continue to captivate and inspire people around the world. They offer valuable insights into the beliefs, values, and culture of ancient Egypt, and have influenced art, literature, and culture for thousands of years. Whether it's the story of Osiris and his resurrection, the riddle of the Sphinx, or the flood that destroyed humanity, these myths are powerful reminders of the enduring human quest for meaning and purpose. They remind us that we are all part of a larger story, and that the struggles and challenges we face are a part of a larger cosmic drama. So, let us continue to explore and appreciate the rich and fascinating stories of ancient Egypt, and draw inspiration and wisdom from their enduring messages of hope, courage, and resilience. That's all for today's video. Tell us in the comments which story was your favorite.